There are connections in life that go beyond words, emotions that run so deep that even death cannot sever them. This was the case for Cesur, a loyal dog whose love for his owner, Mehmet never faded no matter the distance or time apart. Mehmet had lived a long life. After losing his wife, he found solace in the company of his children who were grown and busy with their own lives. Despite their visits, he felt a longing for companionship. So he decided to adopt a puppy to bring some joy back into his life. Enter Cesur, a small black and brown pup who would quickly become Mehmet's closest companion. From the moment Cesur came into his life, the two became inseparable. They went everywhere together. Whether it was playing outside, taking walks through the countryside, or even visiting local shops, Cesur was always by his side. The bond between them grew even stronger when Mehmet became paralyzed. Even though the days of long walks were over, Cesur's presence helped lift Mehmet's spirits. In many ways, it was as if Cesur had given Mehmet a reason to keep going, to keep living. As time passed, Mehmet's health began to decline. One day, he fell seriously ill. His son, Ali, urged him to go to the hospital, but Mehmet was reluctant to leave Cesur. With tears in his eyes, he said his final goodbye to the dog, asking him to behave while he was gone. Mehmet was admitted to the hospital, but his condition worsened quickly. At home, Cesur wouldn't eat, and his sadness was palpable. His family tried everything to encourage him to eat, but the dog simply refused. It was as if he knew something was wrong with his owner. Days later, Mehmet passed away, and the family was heartbroken. Yet no one felt the loss more profoundly than Cesur. On the day of the funeral, Cesur was there, standing among the mourners, paying his respects. He sat quietly beside Mehmet's casket, his head bowed in grief, his eyes full of sadness. The dog didn't make a sound, he simply sat there, sharing in the mourning as if he understood the weight of the moment. After the ceremony, Cesur followed the coffin to the cemetery, walking solemnly behind. Though some of the family members tried to comfort him, Cesur wasn't interested. His focus remained solely on the coffin, and he only allowed them to pick him up after it had been laid to rest. Despite the comfort and care he received from Ali and the family, Cesur still seemed to be mourning the loss of his best friend. But what happened next was something even more touching. Each day, when the family left for work or school, Cesur would slip out of the yard. At first, they weren't sure where he was going. But every afternoon when the family returned home, Cesur would always be there, waiting for them. Curious about where Cesur was going, Ali decided to follow him one day. As the family left, Ali quietly trailed behind the dog. Cesur walked with purpose, as if he knew exactly where he was headed. They passed Mehmet's old house, but Cesur didn't stop there. He continued on until they reached the cemetery. The dog ran straight to Mehmet's grave, lay down beside it, and rested there for hours. Ali was moved by what he witnessed. Cesur had been visiting Mehmet's grave every day since the funeral, a loyal ritual of mourning. The workers at the cemetery recognized the dog, explaining that every morning Cesur would visit the grave and stay there for hours before returning home in the afternoon. This daily visit became Cesur's way of showing his devotion to his owner even after death. Ali understood that, even though Cesur now had a new family, his heart remained with Mehmet. Ali began to join the dog on his visits, and together they shared in their grief. The bond between them, forged through love and loyalty, was undeniable. Cesur's story serves as a poignant reminder of the profound connections that can exist between humans and animals. Love doesn't end with death, and Cesur's grief shows that animals can form deep emotional bonds with their owners. In his own way, Cesur proved that loyalty and love don't disappear with time or distance. Have you ever witnessed a pet grieving the loss of an owner? Do you think animals understand the emotions of their humans? Let us know in the comments. Thank you for reading today's touching story. Stay tuned for more heartwarming tales of love and loyalty.